Welcome to video 3 of the OpenRefine tutorial series. In this video, we will be troubleshooting some more difficult data problems, including some multi-step fixes. Let's get started. So our first problem that we can fix is actually the first keyword in each cell, which is law. For the purposes of this tutorial, we will say that the S from the keyword laws was removed, and we need to change every cell back to the word laws. This sounds like a simple edit, similar to what we did in the last video, but there is a big problem we'll find if we go through it the same way as we did before. So let's find out what that problem is. We click on the drop-down menu, click on Edit Cells, then Transform, and we type in our expression in the same way as last time. It will end up being value replace law and laws, with the S added. When we press OK, we find that not only did it change the first keyword in each cell from law to laws, but it changed more than we had planned for it to change. Law library has now become laws library in every row, which is not what we were wanting to do. So notice what makes OpenRefine so helpful also makes it go a little overboard sometimes. OpenRefine is only as good as its user. So how do we fix this? Well, there's one way to guarantee a correct reversal or a fix. First, I'm going to undo what I did. Notice all the S's have disappeared, and that's probably the easiest way to do it since what I did was completely wrong. And since all keywords are unique, I'm going to use punctuation to my advantage in my new second try coding phrase. So I'm going to pull up transform again, and then where we typed in value.replace parenthesis law and then laws, instead we're going to add the semicolon that comes after that keyword. So it's going to say law semicolon with a comma separating still, and then laws also with a semicolon. And then we're going to close out our phrase. Notice both have the semicolon that is in the keyword string already, and it's using it for a placement. So I'm pressing OK, and notice law library is now not changed, but law has now changed to laws in all of the rows. So let's try another edit. At the end of some of our keyword strings, down at the bottom of the file, there are dangling semicolons after the last keyword, statutes at large, and they don't belong. The semicolons only belong between keywords, and when there's no keyword at the end, the semicolon doesn't belong. So this is going to actually be several steps to fix unless we just want to manually correct each one, which is possible, but would be very time consuming, and it's just not worth it. So let me show you how we can fix it faster. Our method from last time is possible. We could open the transform function, and we could type in the same type of string as last time, value replace with large with a semicolon that we want to remove, and we're going to put in large with no semicolon for what we want it to be changed to, and we could press OK, but the problem that we find is that the semicolon after every keyword statutes at large has now been deleted, not just the incorrect ones. So rows 1 through 39 now have no semicolon in between statutes at large and the next keyword. So we'll need to go back and fix theirs. 42 and on are now fixed, but the ones before that, 1 through 39, now have to be reverse corrected. So we can again use punctuation to our advantage. Since every keyword in our string is separated by a semicolon but also a space, we can fix our overcorrection using a space, a white space. So we can type in value.replace with our parentheses and everything as normal. We're going to type in large with a space, signifying that it's in the middle of a keyword string. We're going to add our quotation mark with a comma, and then we're going to put another quotation mark with how we want it to be, which is a large semicolon, and then add that space in yet again. Then we're going to close our phrase again with a quotation mark and a parenthesis, and we're going to press OK. And notice 42, row 42 and on still have their semicolon removed, which is what we were going for, but lines 3 or row number 3 through 39 now have their semicolons back. One last editor that is sometimes applicable is called cluster editing. If you go back to the drop-down arrow, click Edit Cells, and then click Cluster and Edit, the application will search the column and show you groups that differ only in 1 or 2 letters or spaces or capitalization differences. So currently everything's nice and tidy, but let's go in and change something. So we're going to do a single edit, and we're going to change one line to say Congress with a lowercase c. That's that single edit again. And now notice there's one word Congress down here at the bottom in row 70 that is not the same as the others. Let's see if our cluster and edit catches it. So notice, now there is a cluster with a size 2 because there are 2 options available that are different from each other. Notice the first option has all of the capital C Congresses in the keyword lines. There are 110 of them, which is definitely the majority. And then there's the one row that we changed that now has the lowercase Congress listed. Notice it's lowercase in the wording. So what we're going to do is we're going to merge them to be the same, and then you can decide over here in this bar what you want them to be merged into. So of course we want the capital C for Congress. Since we changed it to lowercase, we want to change it back to uppercase or to capitals. So the capital C, it's going to always pick what the majority is, and the majority, 110, say capital C for Congress. So we're going to click the merge button right over here. It shows a check mark, and then you can either, if you have more than one cluster that you need to fix, you can click merge selected and recluster. For us, since we only have one cluster that we need to address, we can click merge selected and close. And now if we go down to line 70 or row 70, it has made capital C in Congress the way it was, and all of our problems have been fixed. These tools are the majority of what I use to refine my data sets. The transforms, the cluster and edits, the single edits, the text searching, all of that, and I hope that they are helpful to you as well. Happy refining!